Yes, guys, another live stream, another day. Always streaming all Chelsea content. We've been doing transfers, gossip, but now we're going to be talking about players that should be leaving this summer. I join here with the co-host Matt. First of all, how are you, man?
Very good, very good. Another great day to stream.
Definitely. And Kazilla, we haven't spoken as much, man. How are you, first of all?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Big up everyone in the chat, man.
Yeah, big up, man. Nasri, Aaron, we've got Hastek. Located line, man. I want that late Money Mason Mount. We've got some special guests coming on very soon as well. Guys, everyone that's tuned in, smash the like button. We've got over 25 people already within a minute. Subscribe for new here. Hit the notification. Help me get to 20k subscribers. And yeah, look, we're going to get straight into it, man. Obviously, we know Tomori is going to be leaving Kazilla. Is that a move that we're going to regret later on?
For me, Fikayo Tomori is a quality player, but I think it was Frank Lampard's fault that we got rid of him. Obviously, they didn't see eye to eye, and apparently there was a lot of backstage stuff going on behind the scenes that Frank Lampard and Tomori butted heads and clashed over some sort of reason. But at the end of the day, if we're looking at it from a pure football point of view, Fikayo Tomori is going to be a great player in the future. So I think Milan done a great job in scouting him. But at the end of the day, we're going to regret giving him away. It's the recurring problem where Chelsea have a young player who doesn't get a lot of game time. They don't bet him, and then they give him to another rival or another team, and then you just see how great they become over time in their future. So at the end of the day, I do feel like this is going to be one that we regret, but I think less so because I think the next type of time span that we're going to go from, so as in the next couple of years that we're going to have as a team, is going to be a lot more successful. Whereas before, when we had Lukaku, Salah, and De Bruyne, they had a lot more success than us back in those times. So I don't think we're going to feel it as much, but we're still going to have a big loss on our hands.
Yeah, I think you summed up there's 25 million pounds, 28 million euros going to be activated. Matt, what's your overall take on this Tomori deal going ahead?
I mean, he's a good player. He's a player that I think still can get in the squad. And it's a bit of a mistake letting him go, but at the same time, we've got a number of youngsters in that same position coming through that can potentially come in. So I don't think we'll miss him too much. And at the end of the day, it's 28 million pounds to go into the transfer budget with all the money that we've already got. So it might work out. Sometimes you have to get rid of some good players to get better players. So we'll have to wait and see.
Didn't we think like that at the time we sold De Bruyne and that though?
Yes, but what we should have done is got them better players. Instead of getting them better players, we just bought
Quadrado.
Quadrado, and then going on to the Danny Drinkwaters, etc.
I think Schürrle was one that we should have kept as well, but maybe that's
they got rid of Schürrle way too quickly.
He retired in it or something after winning the World Cup.
No, he was still playing.
That's where he went to Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Oh, but he retired recently, right?
Yeah, recently he did.
He went to Fulham.
So young, I swear, like 30 or 29 or something. Or maybe I'm chatting. Just very quickly, Antonio Conte going to Tottenham. Kazilla.
I mean, Tottenham are going to get what they want at the end of the day. Like me, I know there's a lot of guys that love Conte, but for me, that you know what I'm saying, Conte tweets right here. But at the end of the day, for me and Antonio Conte wasn't my favorite Chelsea manager, but he got the job done at the end of the day. So you got to respect what he done. So for me, and Tottenham are gonna enjoy the first season, especially with Antonio Conte. But at the end of the day, it's going to become another recurring problem where Antonio Conte and the member of the board and people behind the scenes clash heads because Antonio Conte won't be able to make the signings that he wants. It's a recurring theme. Happened at Chelsea, happened at Juventus, happened now at Inter Milan, gonna happen at Tottenham. But I think Tottenham are gonna experience it on the worst level because I think their squad's not good enough to compete. So where's the initial funding and backing coming from Levy? When's that coming? So at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out.
Well said there, man. Obviously, Conte has been winning recently, though. He could change for Tottenham. Can he convince Harry Kane to stay, Matt?
I mean, how legit is these Conte rumours?
Fabrizio Romano came out of it.
Is it confirmed or is it just rumours? Like
they're in talks right now, so it's either him or Poch.
I still don't think it's going to happen because I think Conte's not stupid.
We said that about Mourinho, bro.
Yeah, but there is no money for him to spend. Why would he go from Inter Milan to Tottenham?
Yeah,
Honestly,
true.
the only way he's going to get money this summer is if Harry Kane goes. So if Harry Kane stays, he's not getting any money. If Harry Kane goes, then he's got at least a bit of money to spend in the first season and then get nothing in the second season.
True. Johnny,
Yo,
it's been a while, man.
Yeah.
Money.
money. Oh, mate, where do we begin? What are you saying, lads? You
Oh
good?
man,
Oh,
I haven't
good, bro,
spoken
good,
to you
man.
in time, bro. I wanted to speak to you after that Champions League final.
Yeah, of
obviously.
course.
It's been crazy, fam. Obviously, your thing must be popping. Mason
Yeah.
Mount.
Yeah. I mean, it was growing before, but obviously, it's people are starting to see the light. Do you know what I mean? They're starting to recognize the raw talent that he is. But yeah, I like. Obviously, other than Mount, like, I'm just so gassed. I'm still in shock that we've won it.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I actually called it in January on Monster Stream, and everyone laughed at me. That was when we were under lamps as well. And I said,
Yeah, I
"Yo,
remember that.
Yeah, so to actually go all the way, man, and beat City 3 times, which I thought wasn't possible. I thought, oh, they're gonna beat us at some point. And obviously, yeah, we've done the business, like European champions twice. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Amazing, man.
It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Definitely.
What a season. What a season.
I heard thing, man. You done a face reveal.
I did, yeah. I did.
When was that? On Sunday or?
I did. So I was on Monster Stream on the night that we won the game, and I didn't even plan to. Like, I just done a little glimpse, like, and everyone just went mental. And yeah, I'm being called Johnny Guardiola, man. that's the trend right now. So yeah, I'll go with it. Whatever, you know what I mean. It might be me on the sidelines, you know what I mean, in Porto, just ruining the team selection. But yeah. So I did one. Yeah.
Just quickly, we're talking about Tomori, man. Is it a bad move for Chelsea to sell him this season or this summer?
I mean, I'd like him to stay because I think he's a talent. There's not many defenders like him, even though we haven't seen him that much. We saw him last season, and that was enough for me to see, like you saw the goal. Who was it against? Wolves, I think. That absolute sculpture from like 25 yards out. Yeah. There's none of our defenders can do that. To be fair, and nah, maybe, but I think Tomori just comes natural. Like, he's got it in him. He reminds me a bit of Gallas, and that's kind of one of the reasons I would love him to stay. But it's not going to happen. I think he's going to go. It's a pretty much done deal, isn't it?
Yeah, done deal, man.
Yeah. I think we might regret that.
Yeah, long term, might probably regret it. Probably not short term.
Yeah, might end up buying him back.
He never Chelsea thing, bro. Chelsea thing.
Standard procedure, isn't it?
Always.
Yeah. So, I'm I expected that even when he actually signed. To be fair, because there was obviously the buyback. Well, we've got a buyback clause, I think. But
no, I think we don't. I don't think we do.
We don't even have a buyback clause.
No, I think there's no buyback clause.
Oh, that's not good.
That's what I'm saying. It's done, man. It's done. That's what I'm saying.
Surely Tuchel's seen him. Surely. He must have had a look at him.
Yeah, but he has no say because it's a mandatory deal that if AC Milan want him, then they'll take him.
Yeah.
Mandatory. So it's a bit harsh. I mean, first option to buy, but
I'd have him over Zouma all day long.
Over Zouma?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
That's a big statement, man.
Yeah, the only reason I say that is I think the way we're playing, the way Tuchel sets us up, I think Tomori he's better on the ball. He's way better on the ball, and he's got pace, a lot of pace. He's not bad aerially, and obviously he's going to improve. But look, they've decided to keep him, and I don't know. I think there's going to be some surprises. Big up Lewis, money. Yeah.
Man, like Lewis, man. It's been
Yeah,
a while.
big
It's been
up
a while.
Lewis. What a G. Big up Lewis.
Big statement. Kazilla, man. Obviously, first Zouma, then talk to me about Tammy Abraham, man. What do you think, Tomori and over Kurt Zouma?
I don't know, man. For me, obviously, I hear where John is coming from. It's a fair point. Obviously, we saw a lot of holes in Zuma's game, especially highlighted towards us this season. Do you know what I'm saying? In particular, but at the end of the day, it really depends on where Tuchel wants or to how Tuchel wants to play next season, because some of the defenders we do have, right, we still haven't seen them properly in the four at the back system. So that's the only point of concern for me, because I'm not too sold yet on Andreas Christensen and Tony Rudiger playing together. I always think they need someone more experienced like Thiago Silva next to them. So I think we saw how well Kurt Zouma did with Thiago Silva playing with Thiago Silva. Sorry. So I just need to see what Tuchel wants to do next season. So if we're definitely going with three at the back and we're starting to build from the back in particular, then sure, yeah, sell Zouma by all means. But if we're not trying to do that and we're trying to just
go to the four,
just go to a four at the back and not put like a lot of emphasis on the ball playing centre back or two ball playing centre backs, then I think Zouma, you should keep Zouma, because Zuma's very good in the air. He's a good 1v1. He's a good 1v1 defender, and there's always a goal with Kurt Zouma. Gives you aerial threat at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Just very quick, Matt. What do you think, man? Kurt Zouma and the situation, Tammy.
Well, I think for me, Kurt Zouma is gone. If not this season, next season. I think next season will be the year that we bring defenders in. I think we will bring one defender in and replace Silva, and then I think Mark Guehi will come in that season to replace Zouma. We'll have to wait and see how Guehi does in his second loan spell, because I think he needs a Premier League loan spell before coming into the team, just to give that experience and just some extra game time. But I think he can do a job in the back four. If it's a back three next season, then we're going to have to sell him, because he's just not good enough in the back three. If he's in a back four with Silva, as Casilla said, I don't really mind it too much. And then in terms of Tammy Abraham, I think he's gone, if I'm honest.
Yeah. How much are we expecting, though, Johnny, man? How much are we expecting from Zouma and
if we'd sell him? Well, right now he's a Champions
People saying
League
30
winner.
million from him. Surely he's more than 30 million.
No, I think he's still young as well, isn't he? How old is he? 25?
Should be like 26.
25, 26.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a still way to go in his career. I would say a fair price would be like 45.
But who would actually buy him? What, in the Premier League? Everton, Ancelotti's gone.
But I'm not so sure Ancelotti would buy him anyway. I think whoever they get, I don't know, that could be a shout to go back to Everton. It's a tough one. The problem is we always struggle to sell players.
That's the worst bit about it.
Yeah, we're great at buying, but when it comes to offloading, apart from, I will honestly say we got a great deal on Oscar, we got a great deal on Morata, a phenomenal deal on Morata, and Hazard is just speaks for itself. But other than that, everyone else is we've always lost money, like compared to what we've paid. With Zouma, I think the demand for him would be there. It's just whether he would probably have to end up downgrading club-wise. I don't think they're like anyone like maybe United, you know. United need a centre-back badly.
Oh, I don't know if we'll sell that.
They also need someone with a bit of pace, which Kurt Zouma has.
And he's got aerial ability. So, I mean, that for me, if I was Zouma and I know I'm going to be sold, that would be a deal I would look to. I think anyone less, like Everton, he's been there, done it. It's not. I mean, they are progressing, I suppose, and they've got money behind them, so that might be a possibility, depending on who the manager is. But United, they might look to someone like Zuma because
Was
Bailly
it?
and Lindelof are poor, man. Like
Was he
Bailly's
linked at
great,
PSG as well last
but,
summer?
maybe,
Yeah, PSG
yeah.
wanted everyone, fam. PSG wanted
Yeah.
Rudiger even.
I
Yeah.
just think there's such a there's such a lack of good centre backs nowadays. I think a lot of teams are looking for centre backs. I think that's the one place where you could probably get a good deal and sell players. So I think it'll be mixed. It'll be between what the comments said and Johnny. I think it'll be 40 million.
And also, Zuma can play in a back four. You know, Tuchel might be looking at that. He might be thinking, I might keep him because he is good. He's really good in the back four. He can play in a back three if I really need him, but because he has proved that he can. Apart from the West Brom game, he wasn't that great, was he? But he's got it in him, but he's obviously much more suited to a back four. If I'm being honest.
Definitely. Kazilla, man, Tammy Abraham. There was a post on Instagram. Like the post if you want Tammy Abraham to stay at Chelsea. He actually liked it himself. It looks like he does want to stay, but he has no future here, man. Unfortunately, Kazilla. What's next for him? West Ham.
I don't know, man. With Tammy, it's just a lot more difficult to analyze. It's the main reason why Tammy, and there's a lot of uproar with Tammy Abraham, is because of the money he demands and wants. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants around 180k a week to stay, which will make him the second highest paid player in Chelsea after Ben Chilwell. So at the end of the day, it really depends on how much money we're willing to give Tammy Abraham. For me, honestly, I'm not in a position to say whether he deserves it or whether he doesn't deserve it, because if we're going on who's our best players and whatnot, Ben Chilwell being on 190k a week doesn't make any sense to me. Obviously, it should be someone more like a Mason Mount or Thiago Silva or Kante, in my opinion. Even though I think Mount will get a new deal and it'll be roughly in that bracket, but at the end of the day, it's just a wage problem that we do have at the club. I'm not too sure how the logistics works and whatnot, but if we're going on based on merit and whatnot and who deserves to get what, I'm just not in a position to say that Tammy doesn't deserve 180k a week. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's players like Werner who's getting 170k a week. So if I'm in Tammy's position, and I'm looking at a striker who let's not be around the bush, who has underperformed this year, and I'm your top scorer off the bench, I'm gonna feel the same way and say, yo, I want 180k too, or I want the same amount of money too. So at the end of the day, it really depends on what the board are willing to give him. That being said, I don't really think he suits Tuchel's system, because I remember Tuchel taking him off. I think we were playing Burnley at home. Took him off at halftime. So that just says it all to me. Do you know what I'm saying? That says everything you need to know. Tuchel doesn't really like playing him. I don't know what it is about Tammy. But one thing we do know about Tammy is going to get you goals. So other Premier League teams are going to be scouting that, and they're going to be looking at the fact that he did score 15 goals in the league last season. So I don't know. It depends. I think Leicester's a real possibility. Leicester's a really big possibility, but it's between West Ham, Leicester, and yeah, I think those two are the two main runners, man.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think, man? Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, it's just a tough one, really. I think if we go to a back four, I feel like, as I said yesterday, I think it suits Tammy a bit more. So maybe he gets a chance and comes back into it a little bit. But again, that'll be off the bench. And I just don't think Tammy Abraham wants to sit on the bench. I think he wants to start week in, week out. So for me, I think if I was Tammy Abraham right now, I'd be looking at going to Borussia Dortmund, because I think that's the best place where you can get game time. You can score lots of goals. You can get players like Julian Brandt, if Sancho's there or whoever's there, will supply him a lot of goals, and hopefully that can boost his reputation and get him a big move eventually in the future. So that's what I'd do if I was Tammy Abraham.
Big words. And Johnny, man, what do you think, man? Tammy Abraham.
I've said it many times. Tammy, I think Tammy's quality. I think he's been at the club like Mason Mount, long time. He's been important for us last year. I think he's definitely worthy of a new contract. I'm not saying like how much, It's down to the club at the end of the day what they want to pay, and I think if they can come to middle ground, then something might happen where there's a scenario he could stay. But it's also down to we don't know what Tuchel thinks about him. I mean, obviously he hasn't played him that much, so that speaks volumes. But for me, if you ask, I've asked a lot of panelists, and no one can ever answer me. If you can find me a striker like Tammy, 23 years old, who could be part of your squad and potentially like a number one, so to speak, over the next 4 years, there ain't many around. And the ones that people sounded out were Haaland, what's his name, the guy with Lukaku, Martinez. Players that are, astronomical wages, and you could say Haaland, Ballon d'Or, blah blah blah. So there's not many. It's someone named Ollie Watkins and a few other touted names, but there's not many around. And Tammy's obviously he's grown in his experience in the Premier League at a high level with Chelsea, more so last year than this year. But he still scored 12 goals in all competitions. He's scored the most goals in a whole squad, and he's hardly played the second since Tuchel's come in. So, I mean, that speaks volumes to me anyway. Regardless of who he scored against, he still put the ball in the net, which we've struggled to do this whole season. So I just think he's obviously got to develop his game. His hold-up play's got to be better. His heading's got to be better. But for pace, pressing, movement, shooting with his feet, he's very good. He's very, very good. I'm not saying he's 150-80 grand a week worthy, but he's definitely worthy a contract like Hudson-Odoi, because Odoi's done nothing compared to what Tammy's done, and he's on like 120 or 30 grand a week. And that's not his fault, but I'm just putting things into perspective that if Tammy's seeing that and he's saying, well, look, my goals contributed last season, I'm top goal scorer, and this year I'm top goal scorer, and I'm not even getting nowhere near what Cho's getting. You can see where he's coming from. He's got to look at his career and his lifestyle and blah 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 blah. But I think to just pass him on, it's going to be. I'm telling you, I've told everyone. He goes to. I don't feel go West Ham because that's downgrading for him. He needs to go to maybe. I was sounding out Bundesliga. Maybe there's a deal with Haaland and Dortmund potentially, something like that, where he would thrive over there and build up his game and confidence, a bit like what Lukaku's done at Inter. And you will see him scoring, I reckon, 20 plus goals a season. And it'll be another scenario. We don't want to wait. We don't want to let these players just evolve. We want like finished article players, or we want like the most sought after talent like your Havertz's and so forth, and pay top money, which there's not many around. So I don't know, man. I think it looks like he's going to go. He wants to stay. He's Chelsea. He's proper Chelsea. It's just, you know what our club are like. They don't. I don't think under Tuchel he's going to be a number one. That's the thing. If you're going to go and buy Lukaku or Haaland, Tammy's not your number one. And if Tammy's content with that and he's happy to drop down his wage demands, then yeah, I would love him in the squad, because there's no one better than him in the squad. Because Giroud's going to leave, and Werner's not your sort of alternative to Lukaku. He's not a natural number 9 striker. And then obviously you got Kai Havertz, who plays false 9, but can also play with a Lukaku or a Tammy. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's all up in the air, isn't it? I think it's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement.
It's going to be a crazy summer for sure. We need to make sure we sell players, though. Obviously, we're linked with like 7-8 players to leave Kuzilla, man. We've got Emerson, we've got Zappacosta, we've got Bakio, we've got Barkley, we've got Loftus-Cheek. Do any of these guys stay for you at this club, Kuzilla?
I'm sorry, Matt. All of them have to go. Ruben's not been the same player. I think, okay, let's talk about Ruben, because Ruben's the most notable of all of them. He's obviously, when Sarri would say he had an amazing season, end of season, because he didn't really play a lot, but that's when Ruben Ruben Loftus-Cheek was looking like a Rolls Royce of a centre midfielder, and then unfortunately he gets his Achilles injury when we were playing preseason in the US. So when that happened, it was clearly evident that Ruben Loftus-Cheek wasn't the same player, and I think the club done the right thing in sending him on loan. For me, he should have went to a better team, but now looking at hindsight, I don't think it really would have made a difference considering the performances that he's been pulling off in Fulham. They've been very underwhelming to say the least. So at the end of the day, we could just look at the standard and unfortunately what the injury's done to the player. So at the end of the day, we got to put sentiment aside and we've got to cut our losses with this player, in my opinion, because if we're looking at the centre midfield options, obviously it's looking a bit thin, but the standard there, we've got Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, Billy Gilmore, who's going to be molded into the next player for us. So at the end of the day, we've got Barkley going as well. Barkley needs to bounce. All of these guys that I said prior to Ruben need to go. These guys are all deadwood. But if we're looking at being cutthroat and we're looking to spend the money that we want to spend in the transfer market, we can amass, let's say, 20, 30, even 40 million for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So we just got to cut our losses at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Moment of silence, man. Moment of silence for Matt Loftus-Cheek, man. Looks like I got one of the panelists who wants him to leave. What's your take on that, man?
Well, all I'm going to say is it's the same panelist that wants Patrick Bamford in the club. So.
Hey, come on, let's not make it personal.
Hey, it's not personal. It's just all right, okay. But yeah, look, I mean, for me, I think the best thing for Ruben right now is to go on loan.
How many loans do you want to give him?
No, but this week, this would be the one last loan. Because you look at last season, he was out for over 13 months, yeah? No, even Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi was out for half of that. So look at how long it took for Hudson-Odoi to get back, who was younger, and his body's much more able to heal better. It was obvious that his first loan wasn't going to be a complete success. People's standards are too high. You look at Ruben, and when he went to Fulham, I thought, if he's going to, his main aim is to get fit. And he didn't get injured once. He managed to play the whole season, no breakdown of injury, no nothing, which is an achievement in itself. He had some good games, and then he had some poor ones, but that's just natural when you're trying to get back into the game. And I think going to a club like Fulham, where he's getting absolutely no chances, he's stuck out on the wing, it's not good for him. For me, again, like Tammy Abraham, take him to the Bundesliga. He can develop his game, bring his technique back, and I think he'll have a good season, and then you'd want to bring him back to Chelsea.
Mr. Matt has given his thoughts there. Money Mace, Johnny, what's your take on Loftus-Cheek, man?
Well, there's always been a player there. It's tough. I agree. I agree with both of the guys. I would, out of everyone, he's not the one I'm most desperate to sell. So if he can go on a better loan than the one he had at Fulham, whether it's in the Premiership or, like you said, Bundesliga, I just want him to be at a club which is competing, that he can really sort of feel like he's at Chelsea. Because at Fulham, he was always going to play. Like, he was just guaranteed he was going to play at that club. I think he's played the season. Now he needs to go to a more competitive club where he's got to sort of up his levels and game and fitness and blah, 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 and see how he goes. If he still doesn't, I'm sure he'll put in performances, and if he still doesn't excel, then yeah, Chelsea will sell him and there will be suitors for him, for sure. Because like, he's a quality player. We've seen how good he can be. But I would probably stick with him one more season, like, loan him out. You know, he's cost us nothing at the end of the day. We haven't bought him. So another loan is, you know, for me, if he goes and has a standout season, what a player to bring back, you know, in the mix of what we've got now. And he obviously wants to come back to Chelsea. Everyone wants to come back to Chelsea, but you're not guaranteed to play. That's why I respect Lamps. He's brought through Mason Mount. He's brought through Gilmore. He's brought through Reece James. These are players that we may never have seen if there was a Sarri in charge. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have to. Loftus-Cheek got in with Sarri, and that shows you how talented he is. But his injuries killed him. Absolutely killed him. He's even spoke about it like through his whole like academy years, how he had this massive growth spurt, and he was so big, like his joints and everything was. He was always getting injured. He's made out of glass pretty much. But when he plays and he's on form, he's a beautiful player to watch. So it's hard, man. It's hard. But I'll stick by it. Give him another loan. Someone decent, a club that's decent, where he can get proper minutes in and compete with the squad and not be just like a guaranteed starter. Do you know what I mean? And that gives him a good prep for if he's ready to come back to Chelsea.
Yeah. Go on, Kazo.
Bro, do you know what it is? Yeah. I don't know, man. To me, it seems crazy at the end of the day. If we're looking at Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right? He broke into the scene under Maurizio Sarri. He had literally half or 3/4 of a season of playing elite football. Got injured, unfortunately. Okay, that he got injured. That's a big deal and whatnot. But how does that warrant 2 loans? In my opinion, I'm seeing a large majority of our fan base saying they want Hakim Ziyech to leave after he put more numbers up. Do you know what I'm saying? He put good, not even good numbers. If you're looking at how much minutes he played and you look at his numbers and his overlying metrics, they're intact at the end of the day. Hakim Ziyech, for me, he's a great player and we need to keep him at the club. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the fan base saying they want him out. But then if Ruben's having half a season or 3/4 of a season playing immaculate football, then getting injured and then going to Fulham for doing jack squat, you know what I'm saying? How does that warrant 2 loans? In my opinion,
I would argue that with Hakim Ziyech has come for 33 million. He's a 28-year-old experienced player, and he's coming to Chelsea when we've needed that experience, and he's brought it a little bit, but he hasn't brought it enough. Loftus-Cheek has cost us nothing, has shown us levels, had almost a career-ending injury, and is fighting for his life to get back. I think as Chelsea are, the way we are, we'll give him. I think he deserves another loan. He genuinely deserves it. I like Ziyech. Ziyech for me he's that player that you might not see him in the game, and he'll just turn up with moment magic. But when that moment magic doesn't come, it's like, well, he doesn't offer you enough to warrant him playing when you've got other players that can offer you way more. And in important games, yeah, he's turned up like in the semi-final, second leg against Letty, I think, it was Letty. He's come on and he's added a difference, but he's great when it comes to impact or when he's trusted a bit. But when he has a string of games, it's like he doesn't deliver all the time. I think that's why Chelsea fans get frustrated with Ziyech, because you look to those experienced players to sort of kind of lead by example, lead with experience, because our front line is very light age-wise. So that's my criticism of Ziyech. I'm not saying he's a wonderful, talented baller. Like, he's got the minerals, but I just
minerals.
Yeah, he's got minerals, but it's not consistent and it's not frequent enough for me. I'll give him next season. I'll give him next season for sure, because I think he would have adapted now. He knows what the league's like. I think he's a bit lightweight, to be fair, but hopefully he can get his pace up. When I mean pace, I mean pace of the game, part of the games, to like adjust to that, because the Dutch league ain't anything like Premiership, and I think he knows that. But European-wise, he's quality. Like, he suits the European football. But he didn't even play the final. You know what I mean?
Because you're Money Mace.
Well, Money Mace. Listen, Money Mace. It's not Money Mace that's going to be dropped now. It's going to be a Pulisic, a Werner, a Havertz. They're you got probably two. Werner's very important to the way he plays. So potentially you're looking at that, either that left wing or right wing, depending on where Money Mace plays, and then your striker. So, yeah, in this formation, you're quite limited to who you play, because we've got Pulisic, Ziyech, Cho, Giroud, Tammy, Werner, Mount. 7 players for 3 positions.
Yeah, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Formation
Well,
change is all maybe.
Yeah.
We shall see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
For
Yeah?
the match.
Going back to Ruben, right? I think Tuchel's given us more and more signs that we might stick with this formation in the future. And why
That's what I'm
should
thinking.
you know what I'm saying? Because now we're linked to Adama Traore and whatnot. For me, if we're looking at Ruben Loftus-Cheek and say and sending them out on loan and whatnot, if we're sending them out on loan at the age of 25, obviously there should be a clear spot and a clear void that he could fill in our squad at the end of the day. But with this formation that we're playing, where does he fit in? He doesn't replace a Mount. He doesn't replace a Kante. He doesn't replace a Jorginho. Is he going to be a false 9? If he's going to be a false 9 or play in the front 9, he's going to have very, very, very good pressing. And at the end of the day, Ruben's not a mobile player like that. He's a silky player. He cruises on the pitch. So at the end of the day, stylistically, it's not really a good matchup for us either.
He could compete with Kai Havertz at false 9. Yeah,
Potentially.
that's the mould of player I see Ruben, because he loves to drift and drop in and then carry. He did that for Fulham quite a bit, even though he wasn't playing that. But he loves to get in those positions. And even Sarri said he could have played a striker. I think what he means is false 9.
Bro,
as
you know,
opposed to striker.
Bro, I hear what you're saying. But at the end of the day, if we're bringing back Ruben, then and if we're linked with a striker that we're potentially going to get as well, that'll make him third choice behind Kai Havertz in the false 9 position.
Yeah, so Tammy's going to go. Giroud's going to go. And
Depends what strikers we're getting it.
Yeah,
I'll make him third choice. It don't make sense.
I get what you're saying. I just think the club they'll look to offload the other players as a priority. Ruben's not a priority because, like I said, they didn't spend any money on him, and he's not on high wages anyway. So I don't really see like Ruben being an issue. I see Drinkwater an issue. I see Barkley an issue. They're the ones that I want to absolutely get rid of. 100% get rid of them, because
we want to keep Bakayoko, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, Bakayoko. Yeah, he's got to go, man. Absolutely got to go. Like, he might be a lovely guy and all that, and he's bants and that, but on the pitch he's atrocious, man. He needs to go. All of them, those 3, they need to be out the door. And I sadly, I don't know how you lot think, but I think Emerson's going to leave. I think Alonso will stay. I think it's going to be one of those players that just won't leave. You know what I mean? Everyone wants him to leave, but he's never going to leave. And you know, like Alonso, yeah, like you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. Like he's just plodded along. He's chilling, man. He's calm. He's just got his Champions League trophy. He's got his Europa. Do you know what I mean? He's just. But when he plays in that wing back role, there's not many that are better than him. You know? Do you know what I mean? He's pretty good. So as a squad player, why not? He's experienced.
Yeah.
My thing is this: when you've won the Champions League, you know players like Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, they're going to have hunger for more. But what other players in our squad are not quite going to have the same hunger? Like, I look to Thiago Silva. He's completed his set now. It's not going to be that same feeling. Do you know what I mean? For him as an individual. What about Jorginho? What about Kovacic? He's won it 4 times. He's only played 17 minutes of football in a final, and he's won it 4 times. Like, is there hunger? Kante's just an absolute, just world class in every department, human being all round. Yeah. So I can see Kante just giving it his all, regardless. But there will be certain players in our group that the hunger might not quite be there. And why Sir Alex Ferguson was so good was if he even sniffed that anyone didn't have that same hunger, like even if it was like 70-80%, he would sell them and he'd bring in someone else. And I think Tuchel needs to identify who those players are. And I think there will be players that will be shocked that will leave, you know.
Yeah, I think there's going to be surprises as well, man.
Yeah.
Just quickly, Matt, I thought maybe you wanted to comment a few times about Loftus-Cheek because I've never seen you so
I was
annoyed.
just listening to everything before I come back for the final time. I mean, in terms of the whole, Ruben had one season under Sarri. I mean, people are forgetting the spell at Crystal Palace where he had a really good loan, all the numbers that he put up in the youth days. I'm not just saying, but this is what I'm saying. When you say, "Oh, why does he deserve a second loan?" Well, we're giving Bakayoko 2, 3, 4, 5 loans. Drinkwater 2, 3, 4, 5
But
loans.
their loans,
If
their
them,
loans
if them,
because we
no,
can't
but
sell them.
look, if them players can get loans, then Ruben can get loans. And even if you think about, I'll take it to another side, the other side of the coin,
It's,
and say that we are looking to sell him. You wouldn't want to sell him right now anyway, because after how he's played at Fulham, you're not going to get as much money. You'd rather loan him out again to, say, a Bundesliga side where he hopefully plays a bit better, and then you make more money from him anyway. So, I mean, for me, I don't see why you'd sell him this summer. I think you've got players like Barkley, who people in the comment section saying Barkley's better than Ruben Loftus-Cheek, they're talking out their ass. I'm sorry, but Barkley got opportunities after opportunities and stunk every single one of them, yet Ruben was just sitting on the bench waiting for his opportunity.
but Matt, your talk about loan is for him to try and get another chance the following season.
Yeah, I still still believe that if he gets the right loan and can put in a good performance, he can get back into the team. But if you're looking at it from another side view, you want to sell him in the future, then you can loan him out and sell him next season anyway. I don't see what is the problem with loaning him out.
There's a new loan deal, isn't there? Like
Yeah,
only
but
allowed 5 over 25.
Yeah, but if you're going to sell most of the crap anyway this summer, hopefully, then that wouldn't really matter too much anyway.
Yeah, hopefully we keep
What other player is going to be out on loan that's over the age of 25 that realistically won't go this summer? I'd probably say Drinkwater because you're never going to get rid of him.
Bakayoko.
I think Bakayoko will go this summer. I think this is the
But
summer.
we've been hearing for years they're gonna go.
No, but I think this is the genuine summer. I think we can get rid of him.
Bro, do you know what it is? Yeah, I don't understand where you're coming from. If he done well at Fulham, but the fact that he wasn't even regularly starting for Fulham, we just got relegated,
No, but
speaks a lot, man.
Even that, like before, obviously he struggled to get in at the start, which obviously he didn't have match fitness at that point, so it's understandable why he slowly got brought into the team. Then he played consistently through November, December, January, February, March, to which Scott Parker said he really rated the player, really wanted him to stay, and he was key to his team. And then it got to about April, and then suddenly Parker went on a mad one and started swapping everyone about. No one was getting consistent game time in April. So people saying, "Oh, Ruben's not a consistent starter," but name a player in the Fulham squad that was a consistent starter in that period, apart from Areola. And I think it was Areola and Lookman. Everyone, Reed was being moved about, Kearney was being moved about, Mitrovic didn't get anything.
Anguissa, I'm pretty sure.
Even Anguissa was getting games on and off. Parker was on a mad one, just changing it all the time. But I think he's finished. He just gave up.
You know, it's Matt. Yeah, if we're dropping all sentiment aside and we're thinking rationally here, we've got a player right who played well under Sarri, played well in Crystal Palace and whatnot. Well, if we're looking at it rationally, right, we've got a player who's not really consistent, who's quite injury prone, and there's no underlying reason there's no underlying position where he could fit in for us. And the player that we can't afford to give regular game time, who's also not getting any younger. What reason is there for Chelsea to give this player another loan? What reason is there? There's no reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
There's not many players. There's not many players like Loftus-Cheek. Like on his day, there's not many players like him that have got such a great physique, 2-footed, dribbling ability, shot, headering, link-up play. He's all-rounded, very, very good player. If you look across Europe, there's not many players that are like him. The nearest I can think along the lines is someone like a Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz is very unique in his style of play. He's very unique. So I think that's maybe Chelsea's thought process is to They know what kind of player he is. They've worked with him all through his career. I think give him a loan, man. I don't see what the big deal is. He cost nothing. He's cost absolutely nothing for us.
I
Like,
think, yeah,
like,
I'm not being funny. You make money off the loan fee anyway. So
No,
even
it's
if you're
not even
looking at
about
even,
that.
yeah,
It's not even
but even
about
if you're
that.
looking at it as a business, if you're looking at it in Kazilla your way, if you want to sell him eventually at the end of it, in a business sense, you're getting money from the loan fee, and then if he gets better, you probably get a lot more in terms of the transfer fee than you do this season.
I understand, bro. Do you know is I hear where you're coming from. I hear where you're coming from. Johnny just said on his day he's an amazing player and whatnot. How often does his day come?
Well, he hasn't had that since he got injured.
I understand, bro.
He's had performances like that where you see glimpses of it. Like when he was playing against United for Fulham, he was absolutely destroying them. All he was lacking was that goal, but that wasn't his main job because he's a midfielder. But he was literally like playing them off the park, especially in the second half. So I think there is a player in there. I just think playing at Fulham ain't really that. It's like the saying, you're as good as the company you keep. And if he's going to be playing at a side that's probably going to get relegated under Scott Parker anyway, like what kind of level's that, man? If you want to improve and get better, and like I said, you've got to go to a club that's competing at some sort of level or for something. Fulham were just trying to stay up. Like, he needs to be at a better club if we're going to see anything like the Ruben we saw under Sarri. And I think that the next loan move, if he goes on loan, the next loan move is pivotal, and it's a win-win for Chelsea because they'll get the money for the wages, and if he doesn't have a great loan, they'll get what they'll get for him selling now, which is probably nothing. If he has a great season and they want to sell him, they're going to get good money for him. So for me, it's like I said, we've got three other players that are actual dead wood. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is not dead wood for me.
I don't know, man, Johnny. Do you know what it is, bro? I don't agree with the point that you said you're only as good as who you get loaned to. Because if we look at Mount, he was amazing at Vitesse, and he got player of the season at Derby. Do you know what I'm saying? He was the best out of a bad bunch at the end of the day. So the fact that Ruben can't show his quality at Fulham is very worrying for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And we can come back to the fact that he's been injured and he can't get regular game time, but that's something we have to take into consideration also. Do you know what I'm saying? If we got a player that can't even keep fit most of the time, who's not really gonna press for you off the ball, like, you know what I'm saying?
If Mount went to Derby, he was playing at Vitesse is a dead league, but he was obviously excelled there, and he didn't get into the team straight away. And then he went to Derby under Lampard, which is Championship. That's not Premier League level. So,
and to make the point, Derby were fighting at the top of the Championship, not at a relegation scrap.
but I'm just saying the level's different. Like, the Championship's different to playing in the Premiership. But Loftus-Cheek has only played in the Premiership, and he's not gone on loan abroad, and he's had a bad injury. He's a proper talent, man. They wouldn't be sticking by him for no reason. There's a reason why they're sticking by him.
You know, they
obviously see something.
Just because of the sentiment and because he's an academy product, I'm not opposed to giving him another loan in there. I'm not against it. Let him do his thing. But at the end of the day, it's not going to take away from the fact that I don't think he's good enough to start for us. So
that's another discussion, and I think we can only have that discussion once he's back in the squad officially, under the formations that we're playing and so and so. But someone in the comment made a point about the injury, which is Achilles. That is a bad injury, man. And Cho's had it, and I'm going to be straight up, and I don't care whose toes I trod on here, but Cho has not been the same. He's not been the same, and he's. I think there's something there. There's something there. Tuchel sees there is a player there, but he's not quite at the races yet. It does damage you mentally, that injury. That injury is a bad injury. But we see what happens. Cho, I think, has got more of a chance because of his age, to be honest.
Yeah. Just quickly, we've got Nick and Ryan here. Nick, first of all, man, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yourself, Sadiq?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Austin. Ryan, man, how are you, bro?
Yo, I'm good, man. Listen, I'm back with a brace, man, on a stream and that, man. I haven't been on streams for a while and that, yeah. And I've done a brace, man. I'm trying to let me get a hat trick soon and that, man. Just came off Lewis's stream, so yeah, man. I'm all good after the Champions League win.
Yeah. So let me hear Nick's and Ryan's opinion quickly. Loftus-Cheek, man, another loan or sell him?
I think just give him another loan. I hope. Look, it's nothing personal. I don't think he's good enough currently, but if he shows signs overseas, maybe in a slower league, that's what he needs. I saw that comment you pinned it. Maybe send him out to Serie A, League One, or somewhere like that where he can go back and work on his fundamental skills. They're good places to practice and develop your skills, right? Whereas in the Premier League, it's high intensity, it's high effort, and Ruben struggled with that at Fulham, and Fulham did at times as a club this year. And I reckon if he goes out to a league, I'm not sure which club, honestly. I can't think of the club that would suit Ruben right now, but he just needs to get away from England, I think. Just go overseas, get a loan, develop his skills, come back and see if he was back again, back to his best Ruben under Sarri. But we can just only hope, man.
Well said.
Bro, do you know what, Sadiq? Yeah, I'm just gonna have to disagree with that point, man. Why are we loaning them out to another league where it's less intense and it's not gonna gear him up to where we want him ideally to play in, which is the Prem. He needs to have another Premier League move for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe at a middling club, Everton, Wolves, something like that, man. He needs to be.
Do you think Everton and Wolves would take a chance on him? No, they've got like.
Then what's the point of loaning him? What's the point of loaning him? If we're gonna loan him out to a slower league where he's not gonna be playing with the intensity of the Prem. We need to give him if we're going to loan him, we're going to have to give him a Premier League move, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think, man?
First of all, I gotta say, before Ruben Loftus-Cheek got injured, I loved Ruben Loftus-Cheek, man. Like, I really wanted him to get a chance under Sarri, and he did. He took it well. So obviously, he got the big injury, and he's definitely not the same player. And as much as I think another, like Azilla said, another Premier League loan would do him well a bit higher up, like an Everton, like I don't know, maybe at West Ham. Not them teams in particular, but them teams fighting for Europe, the Europa League and stuff, knocking on the door. That would be nice. However, if we're being realistic, I think the club will sell him. And listen, you can't get too sentimental with this club. Like I called out the Lampard, the Lampard sentimental people when Lampard was gonna get sacked. And look, I'd have a lot of love for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'd love him to get another loan in the Prem and then come back, and then we might see the old Ruben. That's not how that club. That's not how our club works, man. So I think as much as I'd love him to get another loan, he's gonna get sold.
He's gonna get sold. Okay, so we've got quite different opinions on Loftus-Cheek. Let's move on to well, we spoke about Tammy Abraham. We spoke about what about Giroud? Giroud's definitely going, guys, isn't it? AC Milan. I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with that.
Something like that.
Yeah, so he's going to AC Milan.
I'd love to keep Giroud at the club, honestly. I think he's a quality backup option. He's Mr. Reliable. He works hard. His ability in the box and with his head is unrivaled, I think, in world football. He's top tier at that stuff. Near post runs, built his career off that. I think he's good influence on the dressing room, but he's just got to go, I think, because he wants to play first team football to maybe even play the World Cup next year. So, yeah, that's why he's going to look for a move.
Yeah. Johnny, would you ever sell Mason Mount for biggest money ever?
Nope.
Never.
Because I think with Mount, I think he's going to be, if he carries on the way he's going now, he's going to get even better and better and better. He's already got a Champions League under his belt. He gets those Premier Leagues, FA Cups, another Champions League. We're talking about him being a bigger legend than John Terry, mate.
I saw that tweet today. I actually saw that tweet today.
Yeah,
it's a big statement. It's a big statement to make now.
It's a big statement, but they're the vibes I've got. The player will not leave Chelsea. He will not leave.
Yo, Johnny, hold your horses, man. We thought Tammy Abraham was gonna be the next Didier Drogba, man.
I never said that. I never said
Nah,
that.
man. Even
I
me and
never
that,
said
man.
that.
Strong, tall, black,
Yeah,
dreads,
no,
everything,
I've
man.
never. That's never
Get
come out of
me?
my mouth ever.
Ah,
I've never
sick.
said Tammy's dropper, man. I don't know what you're hearing, man. I never said that.
Yo.
You're having a joke, mate. But yeah, he's got it, man. He's got it, and he's been what since 6 years old. He's been at Chelsea. So don't write it off, man. I'm saying it's a vibe. I'm not saying it's a definite. Nothing's guaranteed.
So
But-
how many Premier Leagues? How many Premier Leagues do you think he needs?
Well, he's 22 now. And he's already got the big one, which is the Champions League. Terry was what, over 30 when he got that. So
Yeah.
he needs. Obviously, Terry's got what, 4?
Yeah.
Got 4 in it. 4 Premier
Yeah.
Leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Mount could win 4 Premier Leagues.
Bruv,
I
I'm here
think
for
I
it,
think
man.
you could. I think you could get another Champions League. And I
So
definitely
we
think
might be
we can-
talking here in 10 years' time about Money Mace. Remember that stream we spoke about 10 years ago? Money Mace.
Yeah.
It's a big- it's-
It's a
big statement.
It's a bit far. A lot of people can't digest that, right? But you've got to look at the kid's 22 and he's just won the Champions League. Already he's got that under his belt. He's got more games under his belt than Frank Lampard. At 100 game appearances for Chelsea, equal to Lampard. He's already beaten Lampard statistically already on assists and goals. So we are looking at some serious player.
Minerals.
Bruv, you know
This,
it.
Minerals.
this is what the minerals is all about. That's the minerals.
Bro.
They're minerals, man. They're
I'm
minerals.
I'm here for it, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to be controversial or anything, but I just want a legend. I just want a legend that I can look up to, not just in a footballing level, but just
Yeah.
that embodies just Chelsea in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He does,
So,
man. He does.
we got
I'm
one.
here for it, man.
We got one,
I'm here
haven't we,
for it.
already?
Who?
Because we got one already.
Do you know?
Tammy
Do you know?
Tammy
Do
Abraham.
you know what Mason Mount did when we won the Champions League? He obviously ran on the pitch and all that. Before he celebrated, he went up to Foden, he went up to all the City players, and then he celebrated. And that is pure class, man. You can't teach that. That's just you're born with
Exactly.
sportsmanship. You're born with that. He's very clever. He's very good with the media. He keeps out of trouble. He's not that chauvinistic. He's very humble. He's a great representation for Chelsea. And you know, Terry has got certain things that are sort of rubbed on him that tarnished that cleanness of him being a great legend. He is a great, but I'm talking to you about a player that this Mason Mount could be that player that on and off the field is just an absolute icon to children out there that aspire to have a dream to be a footballer at a young age and are told they can't make it by their own, you know, dad
Teacher,
and
yeah,
brother,
I've seen
you know what I mean, and their teacher, and he's gone out and he's proving everyone wrong. And I think obviously you've got to have mentality with that as well. Like Terry had all the mentality. Like you need that, and I think he's got all of that in his locker. He's got all the minerals, so to speak. He's got every single mineral that you can think of. Yeah, that he will go on to be a legend of Chelsea Football Club, and I stand by it, man. Like whether people don't want to accept it or think that he's not going anywhere. Chelsea have already come out and said he's unsellable. Like there's no way even if offers, they wouldn't listen to any offers, anything.
Yeah. All right, cool. So obviously he's not going to leave, but how much would we value him now, Matt? How much would you value him after that Champions League?
What, Mason Mount?
Yeah.
100 at least.
100 already? That's
Yeah.
a big statement.
We don't
Zilla.
want to get rid of, we don't want to get rid of him.
No, I'm not saying to get rid of. I'm just saying how
That's
much
too
you think
low,
he's
man.
worth right now.
That's
Right
too low.
now. 100 is a bit too
but
much.
are we talking about actual player value or what he would go for? Because every player is overpriced.
True.
You're talking about 100 million at the moment.
Name me a player that can do what Mount can do in world football.
Foden.
No,
I mean,
No, he
not as
can't.
versatile. I mean, if
Grealish.
you're talking about,
Grealish.
if you're talking about,
not even Grealish.
we're talking about natural skill, then there's players up there, but Mount's versatility just makes him more valuable. my
Mount
opinion.
can play left
Yeah.
wing, right wing. He can play cam 10. He
Like
can
the-
play 8 and he can play a 6.
There's players out there like Ricky. Pedri. There's players out there like Foden who I think are a bit more gifted on the ball, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. That's the consistency that they don't have the same
I
consistency.
don't know.
They
I
don't
don't
have
know
the.
I don't know if you say that they're more gifted. I think they're more, maybe a bit more. I think everyone's deceived by the fact that it's more pretty to the eye. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
But
make that point. Yeah.
when you watch Mount that ball in the Champions League final in a high pressure moment against one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the English league, he completely cut him, pinpoint position onto Kai Havertz's feet, and there's a lot of things that you saw what he'd done to Fernandinho. You've seen all the nutmegs and the trickery that he's got in his locker, the turns for the goal. He's got bundles of technical ability. I think it's just not as pleasing like watching a Grealish, which is a bit hazardesque, or a Pulisic. He's a bit more,
Dribble past players.
just dribbly, pretty to look. But Mount can dribble, but he's more direct and more kind of aggressive. He's like he's that player you just can't shrug off, like, or you try and get him off the ball, and he's done you. He's gone. Do you know what I mean? He's just got everything, man. And for me, if you want to buy Mason Mount at the age he is and what he's won now, you got to be going close to 200 million, mate. There's no way I'm selling him.
200 million.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man.
That's a lot, bro. That's too much.
According to Transfermarkt, he's worth 75 million euros, so he's up there. Like,
I mean, last season, Klopp said that I think it was like around January time. He said that players like Mount are worth 60 million then, and now he's gone a year and a half on. He's got a Champions League trophy under his belt. He's got Player of the Year, potentially PFA Player of the Year, depending if he gets it or not.
Yeah.
That if you look at that, I still think 100 million. Obviously, it might be adding a little bit on, but that is probably a realistic price nowadays.
No, if you see, if you're talking of buying Haaland for 150, 60 million, or an Mbappe for 200 million, Mason Mount for me is a pedigree of that bracket. Like, there's no one like Mason Mount in world football right now. I name me a player like Mason Mount. Name me a player that can do what he does. And you can't find one.
Robbie Savage.
Who?
Robbie Savage.
Who's that?
Adama Traore.
Who's that, bro?
Leicester legend.
Yeah. Cool. That blondie, innit? Yeah.
No,
Listen,
Money Maze. He's
unique.
He's proved myself wrong. He's proved many wrong, of course, 100%. I'm just hoping now he gets into double digits for goals and assists in future. Before I put him in that top caliber, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That's all.
I think I completely agree with you, Siddiq. I think to take truly like rival Mbappe and Neymar, Johnny, he needs to improve his output. I think his technical ability is up there, right? He's so good at doing the simple stuff. He never does all those fancy step overs and all that trickeries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he does when he needs to.
Exactly. He can, but he doesn't. He always keeps it simple. Just like his turns, king of the turns, man. It's something simple yet so effective that you don't see that.
Do you know what I would counter that with? Like,
what?
He needs to improve this. Of course, he's going to improve. I mean, he's going to improve. Everyone, I'm not denying he's going to improve. He's going to be some serious baller. And he already is a baller. But remind me, everyone, and everyone in the chat, did Neymar and Mbappe make a wonderful, bang on the money final ball assist to win you Champions League last year? And they didn't. Did they step up when it really counts? They didn't.
No.
Did Mason Mount? Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Kai Havertz? Yeah, they did. And that's the difference to when I put them in that bracket. I put them in that bracket because it's moments like that you expect. If you want to be like the best in the world or amongst the best in the world, you have to have moments like that, because it's those moments that you get given it in a split second, and if you don't take it, it's gone, and you won't get it in that game again. And Mason Mount took that moment.
Yeah,
he took
did.
it.
Did that moment.
And so did Kai Havertz as well. They
So did
both took
Werner.
the moment.
Werner made the run. I think
Yeah,
Werner took
Werner-
the
Werner's
Werner-
off-ball movement there was exceptional.
That's why
He
Werner
created-
plays. That's why Werner
Exactly.
plays.
You know,
But-
is
but
yeah.
Hear me out, right? Fada's not here. Timo Werner is the best striker in the world outside the 18-yard box. Inside, he's the worst, honestly. I think that's just a perfect summary for Werner. Like, his movement is exceptional off the ball. Work is incredible, right? He made that goal, but in just when he gets in the box, it unfortunately turns to a shambles. I'm sorry. That's the truth there. But he created that goal for Havertz single-handedly. He saw that Zinchenko was nowhere near Havertz. He dragged Diaz over, and then there was so much space in the middle for Havertz. So fair play to Werner.
Zilla,
what
happened? What's wrong with it?
You know what Werner's like, yeah? Werner, yeah? Is like in the Champions League final, I was watching him play, and towards the end of the game, yeah, I was honestly every time the ball got out, I saw Christian Pulisic warming up. I was praying that he came off. Werner's one of them guys, when you watch him play, you get so frustrated, and then after the game, you deep what he does, and then you realize he's not actually that bad. But during the game, you literally think this guy is Titus Bramble, man. Oh my days,
Man,
And then
that is Bramble.
and then when the game finishes and you actually deep his performance, you think, oh, this guy's not even that bad. But you see, when I watch him, man,
he just needs goals. Once he starts putting goals away, his all-round game is there to a T. He just needs goals.
I mean, his first touch almost cost us a goal in the Champions League final. What was it? He got the ball, and then he trampoline touched the ball, and then I think Man City went on a counter attack or something, and luckily they didn't do anything with it. But listen, it's a big preseason for Werner, man. That's all I gotta say.
Bro, Timo Werner, listen, I understand what you're saying. You're saying, Nick, maybe it's the Champions League winner buzz or anything, but we need to face the facts, man. We need to face the hard facts, man. Timo Werner he's all right, you know what I'm saying, but we can immensely do better, man. We gotta keep it 100 here, man.
No,
You know
I
that
agree.
right
He's not going anywhere. He's not going.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know,
consider-
definitely, he's not going anywhere. But listen, when we're talking about leading the line for Chelsea Football Club, there's levels here, man. There's levels here.
Yeah, Timo Werner, this season, well, the next season, it's his chance to prove himself in this Chelsea team. He had a very up and down year this year. That's a fact. He missed a lot of chances. That's a fact. He created a lot of chances. That's a fact. Now, when he starts putting in these goals, then it'll be perfect for Timo Werner. But we just need to see those goals from him, right?
Yo, how much is Father paying you?
Huh? No. You pay me nothing. I'm being real. I backed Timo Werner this year, right? If he flops, then we need to get rid of
Oh
him.
yeah,
at the
you
end.
got to back him, man. You got to back him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's all hypotheticals. Now, I'm generally an optimist rather than a pessimist. So I just want, and I think Werner has the ability and the minerals in some aspects to do well. So
he's got minerals, man. Trust me, he's got minerals there. He just needs to dig a bit further. Do you know what I
think a
mean?
bit deeper.
Yeah.
Matt,
I just wanna make, because I got to jump off.
yeah.
So I was gonna say this: if Mason Mount, if he performs at a high level, and I think he'll play a lot of games for England in the Euros, and England win the Euros, I think the Ballon d'Or's still on, boys.
Let's have it, man. Let's have it.
He's got a
I'm here
rival
for it, man.
candidate.
I think it's still on, man. Honestly, I think it's still on.
Why
I
not, man?
hear you, but like I'd love to see Kante win it too. Honestly,
If
France
Kante
wins the
wins,
Euro,
if Kante wins with France, then hands down, Kante's got to win Ballon d'Or. But I think if Mount wins it with England, because England realistically are not your favourites to win the Euros, and if they do win the Euros, then he is pivotal to them winning it, because obviously he's going to play pretty much every game, I would imagine, or most games.
Mason Mount Ballon d'Or.
Do you know what I'm saying? Let's have it. Let's have the minerals, man, because I'm still pushing for it. Lewis has said to me, the more it's getting more and more realistic, it's getting ridiculous. And it's going to
Mount
come.
wins the Ballon d'Or,
Yeah.
If Mount wins the Ballon d'Or, honestly, I'll probably never jump on a stream with Johnny again, man. Imagine that after everything.
I think
After
people are
everything-
struggling now, Rayan, anyway, because
Oh.
he's won a Champions League, man, and he assisted the winning goal. They're
Money!
struggling, man. It's all about the money.
Oh.
It's all about
Money.
the money. Yeah.
Johnny.
That's
Let's
my
have it.
knowledge
Let's
too,
have it.
man.
I'll let you go, Johnny, man.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure
but-
having you on.
No,
Hopefully we have you on again
likewise.
soon.
Yeah. Just hit me up. Big up everyone in the chat. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. And support Sadiq, man, and his quality channel, boys. All
Love,
right?
man. Appreciate that, man. Take
Big
care,
up.
bro.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Matt, we didn't really get your opinion on the whole topics, man. It was quiet for a bit because everyone was talking. What do you make of that Timo Werner and Nick's big statement? Off the ball, outside the box, best striker.
Well, now Johnny's gone, we can all agree that Mason Mount's shit. Joking. Yeah, I think for me, Werner's just done enough this season with how he is playing off the ball and how he suits the team. But I do need to see a lot more from him. I think if you do bring in a big striker like Lukaku and play him with Werner, I think that suits him the best because he can play, or we can play off him. He doesn't have he doesn't have
what
to
do you mean,
rely
no, bro?
he doesn't have the reliance to be the man to score all the goals. And then he can do what he did. We can recreate what happened at Leipzig. But the problem is with Werner, he's either played out on the wing, which doesn't suit him, or he's played up front on his own, which again, you can play him to a point, but he doesn't suit him as much. I know Cazilla's going crazy right now, but I'll just finish off with just saying that he needs to provide goals to his game, or the matter of fact that Havertz is taking that exact role, and that's as simple as.
Kazilla, man.
Bro, this two striker option with Lukaku and Werner, I'm not having it, bro.
Why?
No
You
way
have
in hell.
Martinez.
No
why
way,
not?
bro. I'm not having that, man. I'm not having that.
Why?
There's no ball retention in that front line, bro. Fuck
Bruv,
that, fam.
what?
I'm sorry,
Lukaku
bro.
and Werner, bro.
No. We need
Martinez and
Lukaku.
Lukaku worked out.
I think we need creators around Lukaku because what we need Lukaku. We got a lot of creativity in our front line. It's just that no one's bagging in the goals. Rom is that guy to put the goals away. At United, I think he scored 1 and 2. So that's literally the missing piece of the puzzle. If we can get creative wingers around Lukaku to create for him, just to score goals, that's what we need. If we're playing two up front, that means Werner and Lukaku are gonna have to create mostly by themselves. I'm not here for that, man. That's like me watching flipping Derby away and that, man. I'm not trying to see no.
But Lukaku can hold up play, he can header it on.
You can say
Werner
this,
run on.
you can say this, but ask Man United fans about Lukaku's touch at Man United, bro.
No.
Man United fans,
It's iffy, man. It's iffy.
But he's improved now. He's improved.
Yeah, cool. He's improved,
Yo,
but
guys.
not to the extent that you guys are thinking of, man. I'm here for Rom just to put the balls in the back of the net. Just dead eye in the box, bang. In the box, bang, bang, bang. That's all I'm here for.
Go on.
I'm not
Ryan,
here
go
to
on.
go for them play together.
Ryan, take it
Yo,
away.
Lukaku and Werner, bro. Lukaku and Werner, bro. You'll see more trampoline touches than oxygen and flip out, bro. Oh
Facts,
my
bro.
days.
Man like
That's
Ryan, you know,
a
with the
long
balls. Jeez!
Oh, yeah, I'd like to
Jeez.
see though Lukaku and Havertz. I think that could be deadly up front. Those two, I'll agree with you. Lukaku and Havertz.
Nah, man. What are you not talking about? You have to put Werner as second striker, guys, man.
No way in hell, bro.
You have to.
No way in hell. I'm sorry.
I think Tuchel, if we get in another striker like Lukaku, I think who's most likely who we're going to get, Tuchel will find a way, like with most things. If he's shown something, he can come into this team and completely reinvigorate and completely change it for the good. And I think he wants a striker. I think he said in one of his press conferences, he wants anywhere from 2 to 3 signings. I think that marquee signing for him will be that main man up top. And now the next question, I think, for Tuchel will be the best way for him to implement that striker alongside our current assets with Werner and Havertz. And I think, look, it could work out. We don't know. But I back Tuchel to figure something out. No, maybe it's a formation change, maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, if Tuchel has shown something, he can change something for the good. So that's why I believe in him. And that's why I believe that we could potentially play those two up front, or even Havertz, or whatever striker we want up front, and stuff will work out because there will be a way.
Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting season for sure. It's gonna be many ins. I think there's gonna be some surprises, like we were saying earlier. I think there's gonna be surprises of players leaving that we wouldn't have expected to leave. I'm not saying Jorginho or anything, but
No,
I think there's gonna be a
do
surprise name.
to leave. Honestly, I don't want Jorginho to leave. He's a loyal, humble servant. He's done well under Sarri. Not the best under Lampard, but done well under Tuchel now. So, I mean, it would be nice to get another midfielder, but again, we got to think about that. This team's just won the Champions League. We want to keep that core together. And I think Jorginho is a big part of this team, honestly. Him and Conte have been exceptional as a partnership. You know, we were all going on about the Jovic initially, but I think Jorginho has come in and proven his place alongside Conte over Kovacic so far.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I think I've seen the debate on Twitter and whatnot, and talking about Jorginho and that. But if Chelsea Chelsea Football Club, we're a ruthless club. We're not going to be around the bush. If we're a sentimental club and we're all for PR and whatnot, we would have kept Frank Lampard. By the end of the day, let's not let a couple months under Thomas Tuchel blind us, man. At the end of the day, for me,
No,
Jorginho is a good player. He works well in a possession-based system, but the facts are the facts, man. There's no registers in Premier League football, man. Like,
So who do you want in?
And even towards the
I'll take Declan Rice, man. I'll take Declan Rice. Bro, what's wrong with Declan Rice? What's the
Nick,
It's just
so
because it's not a sexy name. It's not because
What's
it doesn't have a swivel. It's not. It's just because
He's not
Declan
worth
Rice doesn't
80
have a
million.
It
He's
doesn't
not
have a
worth
swivel.
80 million.
Declan Rice is
80
not
million
worth
pounds.
80. I wouldn't pay more than 40.
Bro,
I
I completely agree with you. He's not worth 80 million, but if Marina can lessen down the door and whatnot, I'll take Decky, man. That's your spine for the next 10 years, brother. Do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
Might as well call it Brexit FC, man. Brexit FC for everyone.
bro. Listen, if Declan Rice is there to win us Champions League, I'm here for it, man.
So everyone just wants Vibes FC. Everyone just wants Mount, Chilwell,
No, it's not that.
Declan
bro.
Rice together.
No,
English
it's not that.
internationals. Instagram comments.
Bro,
yeah.
I'll take,
Chill. Instagram.
listen.
yeah.
bro, Sadiq. You know what, bro? I'll take Rice or I'll take Chouameni. Either or, not a problem for me. Either
We can have both.
We can take both. I'll take both at the end of the day. But
yeah.
Then Kante goes for you then.
no.
Jorginho goes.
Brother, Kante is the best midfielder in the world, man. He's got to stay in the club. But that being said, you know what I'm saying? If we can get Declan Rice or Oriel and Chouameni, we can just shift out Jorginho, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones for me.
Who do you want, man? I don't know. You look like you're not feeling Rice. You're many and that. bro.
Honestly, I don't think we want to sign any midfielder.
Why are we not? Unless we stay in a back three. If we go to a back four, we are screwed if we don't sign a defensive midfielder.
I think back four will happen and Mount will play more deep.
No, welcome back to top 5 then.
No, I'm just telling you what I think.
You
will
look
happen.
at how Jorginho and that were completely destroyed in a back four. There's no surprise that Jorginho.
We'll have a striker. We'll buy a striker. We'll get a defender. And we won't change.
The reason why the defense was struggling so much is because the midfield was absolutely open. They were spreading their legs open like a fucking prostitute. And then the defense was absolutely screwed, whatever they do, because they were put in awkward situations. You go back to a back four and don't get a defensive.
This is why we need Loftus-Cheek.
No, I'm not even talking about Loftus-Cheek in the situation. You don't get a defensive midfielder in and go to a back four, then you're having the same problems under Lampard. Maybe a little bit better because it's Tuchel, not Lampard, but you're still going to have problems.
No, I think you're just Lampard.
Huh?
Kante, Mount, Havertz, Kovacic. Who's in there?
The three. Jorginho, Kante, Mount probably.
So no Havertz.
Havertz striker and up top.
But aren't we gonna buy a striker?
Yeah, but we don't know who we're gonna get yet.
Okay, fair enough.
We don't know who we're gonna get, and Havertz can play on the right. We don't know where everyone's gonna play. Really, we can play two up top.
Bro, if you're playing two up top, yeah, I think the best thing to do is you play a back four with the keeper. Then DM, let's say you can get Rice and Kante, and then on the left you get Werner. You play a 4-2-2 in it. On the left you play Werner, on the right you play Mount, and then play Kai and
Lukaku. When I say two up top, that is
cool.
that is the formation.
That's open, though. That's open.
Yeah.
You got Rice and Kante in there.
Yeah, if you've
And
got
plus
two
Mount.
defensive midfielders in there, that's not as much of a problem.
Crazy.
So wait,
That
two
midfield, yeah.
DMs,
Yeah,
two on the wings.
yeah.
Yeah, 2 up
So,
front.
so
Well,
what are you talking about between the strikers?
they would technically be left attacking midfielders, right attacking midfielders, if you want to be specific. But yes, wingers.
In
Two
defense-
Yeah, but that's going to be so much space in the middle.
No. In defense.
No,
in
because
defense,
the second striker up front is someone like a Havertz who will feed into that area.
Oh, bro, when you're playing in defense in a transition, you play a 4-1-4-1, which is hard to break down, or you play a 4-4-2 flat.
Bro, a three-man midfield opposition will break that easily.
What in
No.
defense? When we're playing defensive,
When we're defending,
okay?
a three-man midfield opposition will absolutely destroy those two DMs.
No, because Mount's gonna drop in there and create free in midfield.
So where's
That's
Mount
what I'm saying.
initially playing? Where's Mount initially playing?
You can play on the right side of the attacking midfield. RAM, right attacking midfield. But what I'm saying is, if we go in defense, that formation is not gonna stay. It's not gonna stay. We're gonna change obviously to a defensive, more rigid formation. You know what I'm saying? In defense, that's only when we break and we're playing attacking football.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you lot think? What do you lot think? 4-2-2-2 in the comments, man. Let us know what you lot think. I'm thinking these are smoking on FIFA or something.
Nah,
No.
Tuchel played that PSG.
Yeah, he did. His front four was Icardi and Mbappe up top. Then he played Neymar and Di Maria as the wider players, and then Icardi would drop in a bit. Not Neymar. Mbappe would stay really high up, and then the two wide players would also
Yeah, but
tuck
Nick,
in.
that's Farmers League, bro.
That's why it's important to have two defensive midfielders like Kante, or for me, even preferably over Rice, or Tuchel, who have both got lots of energy to run in that midfield, cover the space, and be defensive, but also providing some creativity in terms of long passing. And then you have a Mount or even a Havertz who will drop back when it gets defensive. It's not going to stay a 4-2-2-2 for the whole formation, as Kazilla said. Like Tuchel does with this three-back formation, you have a formation that you sit when you're off the ball, and a formation when you're on the ball. So that it is going to change. It is going to format like that. But that's why you said if you're playing Jorginho in that formation, you're screwed. If you're playing Kovacic in that formation with Kante, you're screwed. It's why you need a defensive midfielder next to Kante, and then maybe Jorginho that can come in and work on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what actually happens next season. I'm looking forward to this transfer talk, man.
Wait, quick side note on that, guys. Have you seen the Conte links with Spurs?
Tottenham. Yeah, he's gone already. He's in Tottenham already.
call.
He was pictured 20 minutes ago in London.
In London? Oh,
Yeah,
how do you feel about that?
yeah, world class. I wish him the best.
Listen, I think he's gonna flop at Tottenham, bro.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this.
It's a match made in hell, fam. Yo.
He'll come in, right? He'll do very well as Conte does, right?
I don't
He'll
even
probably
think
get
he'll do well.
maybe even third or fourth, right? I think it'll be very close next year. And then he'll demand signings, right? He'll want a new wide player. He'll want they need new centre backs, right? They got flipping Dyer and Sanchez at the back, so he'll obviously want signings if he isn't going to get any this year, and he'll just walk out because Levy's so stingy. He won't give him anything, so that's going to happen. He's going to leave within a year or two. Fact. He's not.
Will he even get the money first season? Because unless Harry Kane leaves, he's not getting any
He
money.
wants
from Tottenham.
Harry Kane to stay in it. I think that's what it is.
Maybe you can sell Jorginho to Tottenham.
What?
Why not?
Who's gonna buy him?
Offloading, man. I'm tired. Like honestly, Jorginho, he's cool and whatnot, but we can do better, man. The guy's just
Bro,
so
he was
stiff,
crying
man.
after the Champions League, bro. He was crying.
Yeah,
Proper
and-
chills.
Yeah, probably so was Basingwa and Ryan Bertrand. You know the
No, they
deal.
weren't. I checked. They weren't.
Nah, they're gone.
I don't give a monkeys, bro. Jorginho, cool, whatever, man. Like it is what it is. He's just so
Vibes
stiff,
FC,
man. You know, bro, I saw him walking towards. You know when the players came out the bus and Chelsea were walking towards the stadium. You see how stiff he was walking, bro. The bread's a plank, fam. He walks like this, and all he does, you know, bro. Remember when Raheem Sterling was on the break and then Jorginho couldn't keep up with him, and he was putting into Thiago Silva. I'm thinking, bro, get the hell out of here, man. I'm tired of you, bro. Cool, whatever, too cool and that, but my guy, listen. It's time to go, man. Honestly, just get Declan Rice.
Because he hates Jorginho, boy. He hates.
It's not, bro. It's Jorginho, bro. Jorginho fans are the worst. They're actually the worst. Imagine these guys were downplaying Kante and all of his achievements at Chelsea just to play Jorginho and Kovacic in center midfield. What I say to that is pounds, man. No, it's not that, man. I haven't. It's not that. It's not that. It just adds to the whole equation, bro. For me, I haven't been a fan of Jorginho like that, man. I've always thought he's been too rigid, too lightweight, and obviously, if we play a possession system, he's all right. But for me, his best suit is in Italy, in my opinion, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
who's
if
gonna
we
buy
get
him?
a good bid, though,
Huh?
if we don't get a good bid for
Who's gonna
Jorginho,
buy him? I don't think
Um,
you will. Don't think Inter will. They can't afford anyone. Will AC Milan? Probably not. They got a decent midfield there. Will Roma? Maybe.
There's a spot for him. There might be a spot for him in AC Milan. Obviously, Tonali hasn't been playing good, and Benacer has been eased out. So maybe there's a hole to
Yeah,
fall.
but they still got Kessié, Callan
Kessie's not a DM.
Raheem Diaz too, maybe.
None of them are
So-
defensive midfielders. They're
Huh?
not. They're not registers. None of them are registers, mate. So I think he can just. I think he can fill the void in there, man. And there's not just AC, Inter and Juventus in Italy. There's always the likes of Fiorentina and whatnot. There's
Lazio.
Roma coming up, Lazio. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe a potential swap deal to get Milinkovic-Savic to
I would be
Chelsea
down
and
with
give him,
that. I would
That's-
be down.
and give him. Do you know what
That
I'm
room
saying?
is done for 2 years, man.
Bro, Milinkovic-Savic is a problem, man. Brez like 6'3", 6'4", center
I want
midfielder.
him like on the sorry. I want him time
Yeah.
ago.
At the end of the day,
Milinkovic-Savic is
you got asset
lethal.
here.
He's a top player.
And plus, Jorginho's 29, man. He's only going to get slower from now.
Yeah,
man.
and don't forget, every 5 minutes his agent's coming out talking about he potentially wants a move.
Oh, yeah, he's a bit of a prat. Not
Yeah,
So
it's fine,
I
man.
mean, you could be a proper Chelsea one, but if your agent's doing that, then just cash out. This is the best time for us to cash out on him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
these 2017 links, man. Sandro,
Trust.
flipping Milinkovic,
Koulibaly.
Savic, what's it? Koulibaly, what's his name? Belletti,
Yeah.
Lotti, whatever. What's his name? Andre. So, yeah, man. I can't.
One
I
of
need
the
to
guys-
move on.
One of the guys said that sorry might be going to Lazio. If he's going to Lazio, sweet, man. Give us some of that money, bro. It's just the problem that we bought Jorginho for 50 mil, man. That's the only problem, man. I don't see us.
I mean,
really
I'd
incorporating that much.
take the hit for it.
Just
Here's what-
quickly, who do you give new contract to? I'll give it to Tammy Abraham. What about you lot?
Antonio
Zouma.
Rudiger.
Yeah, honestly, we need to keep Rudiger. I
Tammy?
agree.
You all agree with Tammy, yeah? Alright, cool. You lot. They said Tammy.
Well, Kepa as well.
I didn't
That's
mention
Tammy
Kepa. Why
Abraham.
you always mention Kepa?
Tammy
Kepa, Emerson, give him more noodles.
I didn't mention
I
Kepa
don't
once today.
2030 till 2030, yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't mention him once on purpose. I thought you lot might mention in a slide. It took you lot 1 hour and 27 minutes to mention Kepa in the transfer out video. That's what I'm talking about, people.
Yo.
1 hour 27.
Hey, we didn't even want him out. We want to give him a new contract.
For me,
That's what I'm talking about.
call me a fanboy and all of that. Call me a stan. I don't give a monkeys. For me, I don't think we should I don't think we should sell Kurt Zouma. I think we should give him another contract, man. The guy's he's only in like
2
40
years
grand
left.
a week. Yeah. He's only on
Kurt
like 40
Zouma?
grand. Yeah, I know. I think he's on only like 40 grand a week. So I think we should just give him another contract, man. Why not?
According to my sources, chili sauce, Asian obviously, he's not staying, bro.
No, I
It
could
is
see
what it is,
Zouma
man.
because maybe Tuchel does want a centre back too. Because the 3 signings, maybe a defender, midfielder, and a striker. Zuma's probably the one that I'd feel like I'd like to not like to leave, but is the most sellable asset. Let's be real. Thiago Silva is going to have 1 year left on his deal. Next year, he's 37. He'll go on a free. Rudiger has been top tier ever since Tuchel has come in. Same thing with AC. So as P's aging out, so we do need another centre back in there if Zuma is to go, and I think Zuma can go. He's a very sellable asset. There'll be demand for him. He's relatively young, but it just depends on the formation and two. Because I don't think he suits the back three. He's shown that this year. He doesn't suit the back three. Thiago Silva, because hear me out, right? When he played with Thiago Silva, he was very, very good. Because Zuma was that energetic off the ball. You know, he just attacked the ball a lot more, right? Thiago Silva complemented him very well, his strengths and weaknesses. Whereas in a back three, his distribution just isn't that good, and he can get found out a bit. His positioning against Southampton too was not brilliant. That goal went in basically just because I think his off the ball movement. So yeah, that's what I think, man.
I got two rebuts to that. Do you know what it is? Yeah, if I can, Sadiq, yeah. Let me just go. What I'm saying is, we place so much emphasis on playing the ball out from centre back and whatnot. You have to understand the fact that this is because we're playing the three at the back system. There's so much emphasis on playing centre backs in this system in particular. So
Yeah, I agree.
so what you have to take into consideration is this: are we playing this system next season? That's the first. That's the first thing you have to think about. And the second thing about is what makes you so sold on Tony Rudiger and Christensen in a back four system in which you think Kurt Zouma is a liability? That's the
Look,
second
I
question
think
you have
Rudi-
to ask yourself.
The
That's
second one is
question.
perfect. The second one is perfect. I don't think anyone can answer. I think everyone's stuck that we've won the Champions League right now. We're not thinking like that.
And then the third question you have to answer is that there's a lot of if we're emphasizing so much on ball playing as the main attribute for centre backs. What about physicality? What about 1v1 defending?
Rudiger.
What about area
You know,
ability?
I think Rudiger's just as good, if not better. Honestly, better at one-on-one defending than Zuma, and
I
matches
disagree.
his physicality.
That's
Rudiger-
completely false.
Just before we
no-nonsense
answer,
defender.
Nick,
Completely false.
just before you answer all three questions, let me just read out the super chat. Sorry, man. Rahat Chowdhury, thank you for the donation. Question to you all. Let's answer this one quickly, very, very quickly. Why can't we work with Tammy? What is he lacking? Are we making another mistake like De Bruyne and Salah?
I
We'll
think
start
so.
with Matt. We'll start with Matt because Nick's gonna answer all the big questions. So Matt, go ahead.
I think we'd like to work with him as a club, but I think the problem is Tammy does not want to sit on the bench and work with his game to improve. So therefore, he's going to want to move and do the best for his career. And it's a bit of a win-win for the club. If the club can get 40, 50 million out of Tammy, then it's a win for the club because they're getting a lot of money. And that's see, if we get Lukaku, that's half Lukaku's price right there. And then it was a win for Tammy because he gets his game time elsewhere and can develop into a really good player. Unfortunately, within the striker role, it's the position, it's the money position, it's the big position. You need finished articles in that position. You can work with defenders, you can work with defensive midfielders, etc., like that. But a striker, you always need to have the best. Like with Didier Drogba, we never just stuck with Didier Drogba. We brought in Shevchenko, we brought in Torres. We kept bringing in loads of strikers to try and be a competitor with Didier Drogba and even become better with him. But Drogba just kept raising his game.
Yeah.
But the problem is Tammy doesn't want to compete for his place and doesn't want to raise his game and compete. So unfortunately, he has to go, and that's simple, is it?
Ryan, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what Matt says. It'd be nice to have him like on the bench as a second choice, and then develop him. But if we do that, then he's probably gonna see out his contract, and we're gonna have to sell him on a free. And
Yeah.
plus, if we want to give him a new contract to maybe keep him at the club and develop him, it's reported that he wants something over 150k, which I can see why he wants it when he sees Hudson-Odoi gets 120k,
And Timo.
and he's the top goal scorer from last season from open play and this season again, so I can see why he wants it. But from a club's point of view, they wouldn't give a second/third choice striker that amount of money every week. So yeah, and he's just simply not good enough to lead the line, and he's a bench option at best at the club. So we just part ways. I wish him the best for his career, and yeah, we just move
That
on.
was Tammy gone, fam.
I'm sorry. Just to end it off, right? I just don't think Tammy fits the system under Tuchel. I don't think Tuchel.
Ice on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't think Tuchel thinks that Tammy can just. It just doesn't work off the ball enough. You know, he's a very good finisher, if not one of the best in the team off natural ability. He's shown that last season, and he's shown that in periods this season. But his problem is everything else, right? It's that hold-up play. It's that movement off the ball. But in the box, he's very good, and I don't think he's open to adding to that. He just wants to be that number 9 at the top who gets balls fed into him, and he just finishes them off every other time. But in reality, that's not how it works. And I don't think Tammy has adapted to this new system that Tuchel is playing, and that's his biggest downfall, honestly. It's the system more than anything, in my opinion.
Bro, do you know is coming back to the original point I was talking about with Kurt Zouma. The problem I have with this fan base is that a lot of the guys that are saying they want Kurt Zouma out now were the same guys that were hanging by his nuts when he was scoring how many goals for us, bro. That's the problem I have. There's no consistency within our fan base. What makes you think Andreas Christensen is the second coming of Maldini just because he can
AC.
put a 40 yard
Nah,
just
Lewis,
because
85.
just because you ping a 40-yard pass? Doesn't make any sense to me. If you look at that West Brom game, Andreas Christensen was directly liable for one of them goals. And I don't care otherwise, bro. I don't care what anyone says otherwise. If you look at it, and if you look at what's his name? I can't remember what the tall geezers are called. But you could see him. He's a big striker. He bullied AC. Backed him up, bro. Backed him up. And then that's one of the reasons why they got one of them goals. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about Kurt Zouma here, Kurt Zouma, he provided what he lacks in ball playing ability. He gives to us in being one of the best aerial defenders in Europe, hands down. He gives us an extra goal threat, and he gives us a he's one of the best 1v1 defenders we have in the club. That being said, I saw a geezer in the comments saying, I'm talking about Maldini saying, if I have to slide tackle, then I'm not a good defender and whatnot. That's a whole lot of bullshit. I have to be honest with you, because if you're saying that, then John Terry is not one of the great best centre backs of all time. If you saw John Terry was a physical brute. If you look at Ruben Diaz, how many times does Ruben Diaz have to slide tackle in Man City right now? When we give him Premier League player of the year?
Slide tackling is an art form, and it's very underrated.
So at the end of the day, bro, what I'm trying to say is I don't want to jump I don't like the fact that a lot of fans in this fan base had to jump to conclusion that Kurt Zouma is not really a good centre back in that, just because of the system we're playing. We have to understand that all our centre backs are not all our centre backs are not perfect. You know
Apart
what I'm saying?
from maybe Silva, I'd say
they're not perfect, and we need to see how these current players play in the back four system under Thomas Tuchel in order to grasp an opinion on who needs to leave and who needs to go.
Guys, just quickly. Do you guys want to stay on for a bit longer? Because I need to do a bit of work. I'm trying to go in the background.
Yeah, I don't mind still.
Yeah, stand below.
You're good, yeah? So you lot can carry on, yeah? I want to go do some work quickly.
Over to Matt.
Matt for host.
Yeah, I mean, guys, carry on the conversation.
Do you not think with Zuma, if we have to try to get a Silva replacement and we have to get a defender, if we bring one in, we have to take one out. And if Thomas Tuchel wants his defenders to be ball playing and read the game something that Kurt Zouma lacks, and we need to get rid of one of the defenders, and he's already, I think, the clubs are interested in him. Do you not see why fans might want to sell him? Because Tuchel might just prefer Rudiger and Christensen over Zouma, and if we try to get another big defender in that can complement these guys and be the replacement for Thiago Silva, then one defender's gonna have to leave.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I do agree with you that one defender has to leave. But I don't understand the fact that it has to be Kurt Zouma, considering the season that he gave us when Lampard was here.
I still don't understand why we have to have a defender leave the season in the first place.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're gonna get a defensive midfielder, and if you're gonna move to a back four, that solves some of the defensive problems. Every defender in their own right have proved that they can, in one formation or another, suit a system. Rudiger, I think personally he can do both 4 and 3. He showed it in different seasons, so I think he's the best suit at the moment. You've got Silva, who's going to stay for the next season anyway. You've got Christensen, who can do it in the back 3. There's still question marks whether he can do it in the back 4, and then you've got Zouma as the other way around. Personally, I think if you want to give Zouma like a 1 or 2 year contract just to make sure there's no problem with the contract next year, then that's fine. You go through next season, see who is the number 1. Then Silva leaves, you get Silva as replacement in. And then if you want, you've got Mark Guay in the background. If you want to sell one of the defenders and bring him up as well, that's your solution. I think for now, focus on the striker this season, focus on the defensive midfielder this season. If you want to get a right-sided winger as well to boost the creativity, then there you go. That's your 3 players. For me, I don't feel the need to touch the defence this season.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
agree with
agree. Yeah, but I just think like if Chelsea do, this is all hypothetical. Yeah, if we don't get a defender, we keep Thiago Silva for 1 more year, which is looking likely. Rudiger can transform what he does from a back three into a back four, and he can play next to Silva, and that can be our partnership. And then Zuma and Christensen can be the third and fourth choice option. Then yeah, I wouldn't mind that, and I wouldn't mind keeping Kurt Zouma at that cost because I like him as a defender. But if say Chelsea do get a defender, they're trying to get a defender, either one to complement Thiago Silva or one to replace Thiago Silva, and we have to sell one defender because you can't just keep five centre backs at the club, especially in a back four system. Then I
yeah.
could see why people want Zuma gone, but like if we don't have to sell a defender and obviously we don't get a new defender in and we're keeping Silva and Rudiger just transforms what he's doing from a back three to a back four and we keep Zuma as that secondary option that we play in the cup games and you can play here and there, then yeah, I don't mind it. But if we do get a big defender in, someone's gonna have to go, and I can see why it could be Zuma.
But for
Yeah,
me,
I
I just
agree.
go on.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, Ryan. There, it's all hypothetically speaking, but the defense has been our best attribute under Tuchel this year, and like you said before, Matt, we need a defensive midfielder and a striker more than we need any defenders. So I don't think we should honestly touch any of the defenders. I don't think we need to buy any or sell any. Now, do we also have to remember we do have Malong Sarr too on the books. He could be an option in the future. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with his form in
Not
Porto.
not for next season. Let's just say
Not
that.
exactly.
Maybe he can improve, but I mean, to the end of the season, he was playing regular football for Porto B.
Oh, okay. So that's probably not.
Add to the comments. Add to the comments, you snake.
But yeah, I just
I
think
never seen it in the streams.
I just
go on.
think if our two priorities are the defensive midfielder and striker, so you're going to spend naturally quite a lot of money, especially if you're going to get Declan Rice. I don't want to go out and get a centre back this season who is going to be a 20-30 million pound player and is just going to be another one of these average defenders that we get rid of in 2 or 3 years. For me, I'd rather save the defender till next season, and then we can go for the big player. That will be the big money signing next season. And that will be the one to replace the big money player. Well, not big money because we got him for free, but the big player in Thiago Silva. I'd rather not get an average player to replace Thiago Silva now and wait and spend the big money next season.
That being
like
said,
you know
what it is, That being said, let's put aside all the propaganda and all the shamelessness. Do you know what I'm saying? Fact and part, most of that comes from Lewis from AC side, but big up Lewis anyways, man. Do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was all fun and jokes here, but we're not here for that. We're a serious club, man. Let's put all the joke and the bullshit and the tomfoolery aside. All I'm saying is let's not act like Andreas Christensen is the second coming of flipping Cannavaro. He's not that. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes in his game. We have to understand this fact. But everyone wants to highlight Kurt Zuma's problems and all of this and all of that and all of that. But we have to acknowledge the fact that Andreas Christensen, for what he's a good centre back for what he is, he's not the top. He's not a top centre back. And I think, in my opinion, he's a lot more disposable, and there's a lot more value in the market from selling him than selling Kurt Zouma, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, I agree with Matt's sentiment saying that the centre back, we can keep all the centre backs and focus on two main problem positions, which is defensive midfielder and the striker, which I completely agree with. But that being said, I'm still not 100% sold on Andreas Christensen, in particular, playing in the back four system.
Yeah, fair enough. I just want to move on. I think we talked about this or have we not? But Adama Traore, lads, how would you feel?
Nick's the new co-host, you know.
Yeah,
we talked about Adama Traore like 100 years, bro.
I mean, we haven't spoken with all you guys. So I mean, I've said my opinion a number of times on Traore in the last few videos, but you guys can give your opinion.
Yeah, look, I'd actually be down for it at the right price. I think 20 to 25 million pounds only. Yeah, exactly. That's the photo. Look, anything over like 35, I don't think is value for money. He can be a great impact player, maybe even a backup to Reece at right wing back if we continue with this back three. And he also offers an option going forward. Now, granted, this season his performances haven't been that good. I think he's only got 2 goals in the Premier League, something like that. His goal output and assists haven't been great. But I think Tuchel could work wonders, That's just my opinion, I'd like to see it, but it's not like something that we need, I'm welcome to the idea, but it's not something that I'm going to push for, basically.
I mean, all I'm going to say is last year Wolves rated him at 80 million to City when they asked the quote price. So I don't see it going down that much.
No way. He's not. Hang on.
And there is talks. He's looking to sign a new contract anyway. So I think that's the whole.
He's
reason
he's valued at 30 million euros. So I think maybe we could get him out for a similar price. 28, 25 million euros, pounds. Okay, give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Adama Traore at right wing back would just be Callum Hudson-Odoi on steroids, bro. Oh my god, that would just be that'd be a madness. But Adama, like I saw a thread on him the other day about how his goal and assist output isn't as good this season, but he's still good for Wolves, and his dribbles and his carries and everything. He's a decent player, but I don't know. If Tuchel wants him, then we can get him, but he's not priority. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be pushing for it.
He's 2.5.
Bro, I'll take Adama Traore in a heartbeat, man. For 2 reasons, particularly. Because it just gives us extra dynamism and a plan B off the bench. Because he's so rapid, he's so quick. It just gives us a different. It gives the opponent something different to deal with. You know what I'm saying? From our perspective, if we're down or whatnot, or if we're up. So at the end of the day, it also allows Callum Hudson-Odoi to be pushed in to the wing position when we need him. So we don't have to start shooing him in right wing back. So at the end of the day, for me, if we can get Adama Traore, not for the money that's being touted 70-80 million, because I don't think he's worth that type of money.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're talking for like 45 million, yeah, man, why not?
Exactly. I think he also has the potential to become like an insane just impact sub, right? You need to break a team down, right? You just chuck on Adama Traore. He's a nightmare for defenders. Chuck him on like 60th, 70th minute when you need a goal or a chance. He will give that to us, and I think he could, like a useful squad player. He's never going to be a nailed-on starter week in, week out, but offers options either on the wing or at fullback for Reece James. If Reece James gets pushed into centre back again, like we've seen a bit this time, Traore has that explosiveness going forward, and even against a team like Liverpool, play even City too. He did his record. Traore's record against the big teams is actually all right. When he popped off. I think it was 2 years ago. He scored those 2 goals against City. He's deadly on the counter attack. So Tuchel could find maybe a way to integrate him. But as Kazilla said, right price. None of this Nax fucking 80 mil, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to move on to. There was a comment from Phantom Reacts, and he said, "Why are you guys talking about a back four though? Why change a system that won the UCL?" Guys, do you think? I mean, for me, that just feels a bit reactionary. We've been moaning in the last 3 months that we're not getting enough goals from this formation, and I think in the league, in the cups, it's worked because in the cup competitions you need to be a bit more defensive, and it's all about moments. But when you're doing a league campaign, I just feel, especially whether we've got the striker or not next season, I just feel a back four. We need another attacker on the pitch, and I think Tuchel's plan was to always stick with us back three at the moment because it suits most of our players. But when he brings players in, I think he wants to go. I think he's always wanted to go to that back four. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Matt. Look, football is a constantly changing and evolving game, and it goes round in circles. Let's be real, it's recycled and repeated in some aspects, but something never sticks for too long. Stuff gets found out. Conte, perfect example. We've seen this. Back three killed it that year, and then we suffered the consequences. I don't think the same will happen under Tuchel, but I think Tuchel realizes that in order to him to stay ahead of the curve and stay competitive in the league this year, he will need to change a couple of things formationally and become unpredictable and truly create that team that no one wants to play against, as he said before. And I think an ultimate part of that would be creating a system whereby we are a flexible team that can play in a couple formations like 4-2-2, maybe a 4-3-3, and can revert back to that back three when we just want to be on lock, take teams by surprise, just play counter-attacking football. And it's versatility that will be the key for Tuchel going forward. And whether he can implement that is another question, but I think he can. And if we can, we will be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, did you need to go?
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me on, guys, and make sure to
Ryan, you going?
yeah, bro. Subscribe to WorldWideChels, like the video, follow everyone on their socials. So yeah, but big ups, Matt, Nick, Sadiq, and Kazilla, man. But guys, take care, man.
Take care, Matt. Just shout it when you don't need to leave, and end it there.
Yeah, that's no worries. We'll probably stop in about 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get off 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, but I just think as well, before Kozilla comes into it, I feel that there's not going to be one system that Tuchel wants to play. So I understand why someone like Traore is being, in a way, talked about, because maybe it's the point where we play the 4-back system as the plan A, but maybe the back three comes in as a plan B option, because everyone talks about these plan B options, managers, and certain managers haven't got it. But when suddenly we look at changing formations, everyone's like, oh, we don't want to change formation, but that is the plan B. I mean, Tuchel said in his press conference before, he said, it's not about what formation I play, it's the style that our team plays. That's the main aspect of the team. Whether it's a back four, whether it's a back three, it's going to be the similar sort of style. And I think that's what people have to focus on. Kazilla, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I think Thomas Tuchel might stick with his formation to start off with, but as he gets found out, I think he's going to switch it up. So yeah, history tells us that this three at the back formation is not particularly sustainable, especially in the Premier League, because all you really have to do is just replicate the formation, and then you will find success at some stage. So at the end of the day, once Tuchel does find out that fact, then we're gonna have to change to a 4 at the back. And in particular, the four at the back is good because not only is it more attacking, but we can create more chances whilst playing football. At the end of the day, we might lose our defensive solidity and rigidness at the end of the day, but I think it might be worth it just to create more chances for the likes of our strikers, and potentially if we do get Lukaku, then we could just see Lukaku bag a lot of goals at the end of the day as a result. So for me, I think Tuchel should stick with this back three, as it would give us defensive solidity and whatnot. But if we need to, we could just switch to a back four, man. Like, I have no problem with it. Maybe even deploying a back three against the harder teams, and then against the teams that we can't really break down, the likes of not even West Brom because they're relegated, but like let's say a Newcastle or Sheffield United, then we can deploy a more possession-based 4 at the back where we just create an abundance of chances. So at the end of the day, this back three, it's not really sustainable like that, but when we need to use it, we should.
Yeah, I think the Champions League. Go on, Nick.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Tuchel, bear in mind, he also has the whole preseason, right? So he's got time is on his side. He can chop and change. That will be the time for him wanting to make those changes, right? Because Tuchel came in stuck with that 3 at the back formation just because it worked. Now it has worked, and I think it can work in the future, but we do need to adapt to other formations and other stuff, and we have time for that, luckily. And I think Tuchel will figure something out, whether to play when we want to play that back 4 and just be all guns blazing, attacking balls to the wall, and then when we need some defensive rigidity, maybe against the top sides, he switches back to that back 3, and then we play counter-attacking football and we're hard to break down. So yeah, go on, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I was quickly just going to say before we all go, I think the struggle we've had this season is breaking down smaller teams, and that comes with the fact that the formation, the back 3, as one in the comments said, we don't have that extra attacker, and we don't have enough attackers to break down these teams. Like people talk about, Champions League, we won it, so why do we have to change the formation? Because the formation suits that, because in the Champions League, we've been playing big teams where most of them have been wanting to come at us, and it's suited suited the way. We haven't played many teams that are just going to sit back, and the Champions League is not all about that sitting back. It's about getting goals, and it's knockout competition. So this back three kind of suits that, and that might get to a point where in the Champions League we do play more of a back three, and in the league we play a back four. That might be the way we go about it. We just have to wait and see next season how it goes, because I think the main problem we've had is not having enough attackers and not breaking down the bottom teams, which I think the back four could help us with.
Yeah, well said, Matt.
Guys, thanks for staying on. I know you guys got to go. Kazula, man, I'll let you go, bro.
Love, guys.
Yes.
Everyone subscribe to Worldwide Chelsea, man. We're nearly at 20K, man.
Love, man. Appreciate that. Nick, pleasure having you on. Matt, pleasure having you on. Tomorrow, by the way, guys, I need to stream around 1 p.m. UK time.
I don't think I'll be able to make it.
I'll be late for that because I don't finish Connect till 1, so.
Alright, cool. I'm probably have to do something because basically I got half day, but I need to go out straight after, unfortunately. So try to sort out something anyway. I'll be in touch with you guys because I need to do it early anyway. So yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Like the video, pushed it over 80 likes, subscribe. We're nearly on 20k subscribers. Hit one notification. Chelsea fanatic, you came on 2 hours late, my friend, but answer it quickly. The media's working against Chelsea, as always, trying to take the credit away from winning the CL and put it on a Guardiola disaster class. It's always like that against Chelsea. Nothing's ever changed, if you know what I mean. Everyone's against Chelsea. Dex, you want to join? 1 p.m. new co-host. I don't mind, man. Come. I don't mind. New co-host. But yeah, guys, take care.
What about me?
Yeah, Nick even as well. But yeah, thank you guys. Please do like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon, man. Peace. 2 hours nearly, mad.